we'll have Courtney fly.
It's Rumpke.
Okay. All right, it is 6 o'clock, and I want to call the Park and Rec meeting for April 13th, 2026 to order. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
Got that motion?
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have a pretty healthy agenda, so we're gonna get rocking and rolling here. We do have a couple of people that aren't here. Hopefully they'll be here momentarily, but I am gonna move forward because we have a lot on the agenda. We do have a quorum. So first of all, I want to recognize a couple of new members. We have Miss Angela Vance Stage. Angela Stage, okay, who is willing to be a member of our committee. We are going to ask for approval for that tonight. With a recommendation, could I have a motion to approve Angie Vance to be recommended for the committee?
I'll make
Okay, can I have a second?
second.
All
First,
in-
second. It doesn't.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Angie, we'll get you on the docket for tonight for approval. And the second one, she is not here yet. She's probably just now closing down her daycare, is Caitlin Cole. And she is very excited to be a part of our committee. Quite the go-getter she is. Excuse me, so could I have a motion to recommend Caitlin be a member of our committee? Okay.
We're both on
Hello.
the same wavelength.
Do I have a, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So I will move forward with asking for approval for Angie and Caitlin. Since you have given me that recommendation, our committee is full. It's the first time we've had a full committee in a long time, so thank you for your willingness. Moving on, I want to talk to you a little bit about the movie night for May 22nd. We are showing the Paddington Bear new movie. The only thing I forgot to tell you last time or ask, I'd like to make a recommendation that not only do we have it on May 22nd, but we have it at the Next Gen building. And the reason I'm asking you for that is because the reason we're having it May 22nd is we have to have it before June, okay? Caitlin is having a parents' night out, and she's having a big party for the children. And I misunderstood her when she said, can we have it together? I thought she meant together at the park, but she meant at her daycare. Now, the reason I think we should move forward with this is she has a facility that if it rains, we can actually have it inside. Okay? Now, I know that kind of puts a damper on the concession. However, if they want to bring some goodies there, they're welcome to. Okay? I know they can't do drinks unless they want to buy sodas and bring them and sell some, okay? Which is possible. You can get sodas at Walmart, 2 something a 6-pack, I think, or 3 something a 6-pack. And they can sell them for $1.25 or something and still get a good return on their money. Or if you want to bag up some popcorn and bring it down, or maybe some cotton candy or something like that, we can work that out, or candy bars or whatever. It's up to you. I think she does have a kitchen. I don't know.
I say, is she gonna have stuff there with the parents' night out? You know what I'm saying, like food, snacks, stuff?
Not to my knowledge. Okay, so let's find that out when she gets here, okay?
And then I'll ask the board if
Sure,
availability.
sure. I mean, I hate to do that to you, but I did tell her we would work together. So if I could make a recommendation to have it at Next Gen, and thinking forward, it would be a good opportunity to partner with her on having it in case of rain. We don't have to cancel anymore.
Yeah.
She'll open up her facility, and then we won't have to bother Megan at the community center either. She has the parking, she has the space, she's right there at the edge of town. Any discussion on this?
Yeah. I love the idea of adding on to events and connecting and making things bigger and better. And I'm not against the idea of having it next gen. A thought would be that maybe we don't disclude the community center if they say, I would really like to host a movie night. Or I had another thought, until we get it built back up. I know once upon a time it was on Town Hall lawn. And I know the issue of the traffic, but our community association group is closing off street from just the end to end so traffic can still go. And I was just thinking, it could be cool also to have one on the town hall lawn again, and maybe shut that street down so that, and we could have the lawn chairs in the street during the movie. So maybe like spreading it out, and maybe not just always at Next Gen or always at the park. Just a thought.
Like just shutting down like the main drag out here?
Just the main drag, so that kids can go between the gazebo and town hall lawn, and that the parents could sit in the street. I just thought it would be, until it was too big, if we got it built back up. I know at one point it sounded like that was an issue with the movie night on town hall lawn. It got a little too big, is maybe why it went out to the park. But now that the numbers have gone back down, and we're looking to build it back up, and maybe looking for a few more donors, if we didn't just restrict it to,
Well, we usually have 50-some people.
okay.
Okay, so
The last couple there weren't, there was probably a handful.
yeah, but there
Last
was a rain issue too.
Yeah, and then
I just think it'd be a
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
look, we have a really cool lit up downtown, the gazebo, once we get it fixed.
But those are on Friday night,
What is it?
the events.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be connected, but
Okay.
another thought would be those events go from 5 to 8. If we started the movie night after one of those first Friday events, even potentially, and just tag along with those events. So just making these events that are already happening bigger and better, and by just kind of using their crowd for our crowd and vice versa. Just a thought.
What are your thoughts? How is that going to affect the concession stand if we do it more? I mean,
I don't think horribly, because we didn't.
I know
last
when
year-
we have the 50-some people crowd, you do well.
Yeah, but because I worked a little bit last year, I'm not sure the year or two before that very much. But just last year we didn't sell a whole lot.
Okay. I just don't want it to impact you guys a great deal, but that's a good thought. Which brings me into my next thing. We don't have the money to have movie nights.
Right.
We have one schedule.
I thought as well.
So that brings me into, first of all, let's finish my first thought. I would like to make a did we do this already?
No.
Okay. I would like to make a recommendation that, first of all, we have it at Next Gen on May 22nd. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. I appreciate that, and I know Caitlin will be very grateful too. Now, let's talk about how we're going to fund 2 more movies, because whatever we do, we've got to get them in order. Right, Courtney?
Yep.
And they're 425?
25.
Like 420 something.
Okay, so let's go 425. And we want to do we want to do 3 more? Or do we just want to do 2 more? We normally do 3 a year, but we only did 2 last year because of the weather, and another time we had to cancel. So, Heather, what are your thoughts?
I would love to see at least 2 more after the Paddington. But I guess it matters if we get sponsors.
Okay.
So I would like to ask a board that I'm a part of if they would sponsor one.
Got them on the list.
So I would like to see at least 2 more if everyone else agrees.
Okay. Here are my thoughts. We have Urban Pineapple, Violet Park, Sterling Bluegrass Jamboree, Sterling Crossings. We can sell candy bars. We can have a rummage sale. We have access to a cotton candy machine. And I have a list of businesses around here. Now, did you want to say something? Okay, you have to say your name and address. Uh-huh.
Yeah, sorry, until you become a member. Everybody knows the drill.
And my home address,
Yeah,
Yeah.
13824 Era Road, Mount Sterling, Ohio.
Thank you.
43143.
you're good. Now, what did you want to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, I can ask Jace, he's the owner of Golden Corral, I know him very well. I can ask him if he would be interested in sponsoring a movie night.
$425?
I can ask him.
Or even a co-sponsor.
I mean, I'm in close with these guys, you know, so
Okay,
I can like.
all right.
Great.
ask.
That would be lovely. I think the more people, more connections, we all have our own connections.
If we can get Urban Pineapple, Violet Park, Sterling Bluegrass Jamboree, and Sterling Crossings to donate $100, there's another movie night. Even $50. I mean, and then maybe we can get the dollar candy bars, a couple boxes, and sell them.
Why don't you guys just create a letter and just say, hey, we're trying to sponsor?
Because I got no responses to any letters. I think I got 2 responses to letters on Party in the Park.
Was it local though? Or these, if we're
All-
talking
look,
local?
to every one of these businesses. The only one that responded to me while I talked to you
Yep.
was Sterling Bluegrass Jamboree. Violet Park never responded, Urban Pineapple never responded. All the local businesses around here, the FRS Place, Willowwood, no one responded back. So this year, my approach is going to be knocking on doors and visiting them one-on-one. I'm not going to waste my time with letters. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say?
I'm a one-on-one.
That's what I'm saying. I've watched her work her magic. She made $700 at a silent auction at Hammer Time. Let's step up, guys. We can do it, okay? So,
Do you have dates in mind for the future movie nights?
I do not, but they're usually the last Saturday of the month.
Would we be opposed to tagging them behind a first Friday?
When are they?
The first Friday from May through September?
It would be July and August.
So, yes. I have a paper here somewhere, maybe.
I think we should have one at the park.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
So you said July and August.
So July's would be,
Is that third?
first Friday is the 3rd, so that's not gonna work. So we'd have to go to the 10th, or we could, nope,
We could
that won't
stick with
work.
the Saturday that typically works if we're not gonna
Do the Friday.
tag along.
Well,
with
that's July 4th, so we can't do
the- oh,
that.
that's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will say July 3rd, the Community Association here is going to do a bike contest. We would like to have a pet contest. So, and we will have live music. And that is until 8 o'clock. A movie, you guys, when do we typically start movies? 9?
Yeah,
What fire?
Yeah, just the
Fireworks.
fireworks is everywhere that night.
Yeah.
yeah. I won't do it. I mean, if
Courthouse.
one of you guys wanna volunteer to do
That's
it.
true. It's red, white, and boom. That's a
Yeah.
lot going
Yeah.
on. It might be low attendance because
Yeah.
of that.
The next one would be August, I think.
Well, you
7th.
could always go to the parking lot next to the NAS. There's always a good show there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't know.
Inside joke or
I
something?
think it's fireworks potentially.
Okay, so, I mean, we can't do a first Friday in July. We could do a first Friday in August,
August 7th would be.
which is
the-
August 7th.
I wouldn't see a problem with that. What's the August 7th for?
I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I believe we are having a foam party outside of Hammer Time. So within that closed block, so we would already have a lot of attraction.
It's, again, what? A phone?
Foam.
Foam
Like you run through
party.
foam, like foam.
Oh, like,
Hammer
like
Time.
soap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we're looking into a foam party.
I was thinking like those foam things you like hit
No.
each other with.
No, just
Noodles?
a
Noodles,
Yeah,
Courtney?
that's what it
foam.
Can you hit people with it?
But I would be more comfortable not confirming that, let me talk to the board.
We gotta
on
have the money
August.
before we can confirm
Yeah,
anything.
Okay. So, do we want to pick dates once we know we have sponsors? Or are we looking for
Absolutely.
maybe the sponsors to help decide a date?
Nope. I
Okay.
think we have to have the money first. I mean, I have all the faith in the world, but I can't commit and order those movies without the money.
Right.
I can't put Courtney in that position.
So maybe by like the next Park and Rec,
We have
if
1
can
month.
come forward with our sponsorships potentially, then we can, see if we can set dates.
Yeah. If you can talk to Golden Corral and get back to Courtney. One thing I will tell you, as a committee, you could probably get by with calling me and talking to me about it because we won't have a quorum, okay? I would prefer that you call Courtney, get into the habit so that we're not breaking any sunshine laws. Yeah, call her and let her know, and then she can let me know. That way, we're not doing anything wrong. So, possibly, we're looking at August 7th and July 11th. Now, I need a volunteer.
I will say, July 11th through the 18th is Madison County Fair.
Ooh, yeah.
Forgot about that, yep.
so,
Maybe pick a different July day.
How about if we just go to
Thanks to my kids.
June 27th? Want to go to June 27th?
Sure. Potential, June 27th.
We're just going to put potential June 27th and August 7th. That's, yeah.
And preferably the June 27th at the park and maybe August 7th on Town Hall?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever we can do to get the attendance up, but first we have to secure the money. Now, what I would like to do is get a volunteer to go to Urban Pineapple and Violet Park. You're gonna go to Golden Corral.
I've already talked to Violet Park. Violet's talked.
Yeah, now that you've already said your address, you don't have to say it again.
I've talked to them about donating for my campground fund, and they said they just couldn't afford it right now, they're too new. So I don't know.
Yeah, they wouldn't donate to Party in the Park either last year, so, but I still think we need to reach out to them, because they've been in business now quite a while, or over a year. So I need, somebody to talk to Urban, what other businesses are down here other than Urban Pineapple and Violet Park?
I was waiting, nobody's really said anything.
Aren't you
Asked
Sterling
me.
Crossings? Isn't that Sterling
Yeah.
Crossings?
Yeah, nobody's ever asked.
Really?
I hit her up for campground.
Oh, yeah,
Hey, Courtney,
I donated to the
You can-
youth league
Yep.
and the Tri-County League.
Sure did.
What's everybody
Do you want
want?
to ask MSOCA for a full 425?
And if she can't get it from Golden Corral, Angie, you're smiling over there with your pretty smile, okay? If you can't get it, I know a donor.
Which would be, what do you want to be called from? Sterling Crossings, or what's the other one?
Sterling One Stop.
Sterling One Stop, Sterling Crossings, or the Mount Sterling Car Wash.
Okay. So can we hit them both up?
I have to ask. Well, you only need
All
two.
three.
If she's gonna get
Yeah.
MOSCA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we can,
And she's gonna try Golden Corral.
yeah, so let's go with those two and keep our fingers crossed. And in the meantime, we can always keep Sterling Crossings or Sterling One Stop in our crosshairs for another donation. for
Well,
another
and what you
thing.
do, so like, the reason why I was asking that is because once you pay for the movie license, there's usually giveaways.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, you know, a lot of people, when they see something that, you know, like the Paddington Bear thing, you know, I donated like the 6-foot
Yes, you
bears or
did.
whatever.
Yes, you did.
Sometimes it's always nice to have something for the kids to take home with them.
Yeah, but I don't know that we can do
Well,
that
that's
this
what I'm
year.
asking is if we can get a license, you
Right.
know, then you have other things that could be donated.
And then maybe we can go back to you and if,
Right.
you know, and Courtney's very good to go on Amazon and get us really cool stuff to give away.
When you say a license, what do you mean?
To
So,
rent the movie.
and I know this sounds the weirdest thing because it took me a minute to
$4.25.
comprehend it too, is that you're not paying for the CD or the DVD,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So you know the DVD that you pop in the thing, it's kind of like old school in that regards.
I get them from the
You
library.
have to pay it to the movie company, which is Swank, is who we go through.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just throw a movie up there or a sitcom or a, you know, you actually have to pay them. They don't give you the DVD, they don't give you the, you know, sounds of the copyright of the music or anything like that. You actually give it to them because you're actually advertising it. So I know it sounds really weird, is that, why don't we just go to the library and, you know, pop it up on the blow-up? You can't do that, because it's illegal to do so.
I mean, we
So
could.
Is that, is
a
what
one-time-
gives
If we
you
get caught, we're in
permission
trouble.
to buy things
Yeah.
for it?
Well, it doesn't, to buy things, that was just something that we created to make it
Yeah.
fun.
Oh,
As a
so
giveaway.
you don't need the license, well, we need it
We
regardless.
need the license, yeah.
Period.
Yeah, but if we can get like the donations, it'd be good to like get donations for people to take back with them, so it's like really themed. So
Yeah.
like, what I was saying about the Paddington Bear, it was like giving kids, you know, little tattoo stickers or,
Well, I've seen like wildlife has grants that are for kids if you talk about
trees or
fishing.
something, yeah.
Yeah, that if we picked a fishing type of movie, we could connect it and then get all these freebies through the grant, yeah, okay. Okay, but we'd have to, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then those grants, it'd be like, you'd probably get them like, because they have deadlines, so that you would have to be able to use them the next year. So
Right.
that might be something, we had done that at, you know, when Marcy was mayor, is, you know, connections with those regards. You know, that's how we got, you know, bicycle helmets and, you know, bicycle items.
Life jackets
Yeah.
and
Fishing.
I don't
fishing
think we need to go that
poles.
big
Yeah.
for movie nights.
Right.
That would be something, if we had a tent at one of the events,
Program
to
no
do
longer
something like
exists
that.
anyway.
And it
We
no
could
longer
definitely add
exists
on,
is
yeah, that'd be
the
cool.
other thing too.
Minor
Okay.
detail, minor detail, it was
Yeah,
kind of.
they cut the,
Okay.
funding on that, some of those too.
Anything else that you can think of in regards to movie night that we need to discuss right now? If we are successful with these two young ladies and their donations, we will certainly, at the next meeting, choose movies. I have the catalog. We will do that as a committee. We will choose the movies, and we will set the dates, and we will move forward. I just need you to think about who's gonna run the movie nights, okay? I know the May 22nd, when Caitlin Cole's husband knows how to put up the screen. I'm not leaving until the morning of the 23rd, I think. I don't know if I'm leaving the 22nd or the 23rd, but she will know how to run the equipment. She will know all of that before I leave. And if I'm here, I'll be there, okay? She will sign it out, and then she will sign it back in, just like I do. Even if I take it down there, I sign it out, and I sign it back in, and I have a witness that sees me do that.
I'm on vacation during that time.
Say again?
I will be on vacation during the May 22nd.
That's okay, we're covered. We're covered on that one. Now, so if nothing else, I have contracts for you and Adam. Did you get Caitlin Cole's and Adam Sweenberg's email?
Yeah, I have Adam's email.
Not Caitlin's, but I told her it was tonight, so.
I didn't know about Caitlin or Angie. I didn't know any about you. Sid.
But I did. I told him,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but
This-
I don't have her email. Or her
This
phone
is
number.
the Youth League contract for Mount Sterling Eagles. And I have the one for Tri-County, which I'll get to Adam.
Do you want to read it for the new members, because they don't have copies of them? Because you guys, as a group, will have to make a recommendation.
Well, they have to accept it first.
Well, that's what I'm
They
saying.
gotta
is-
go to their boards
Yeah,
and-
so the,
Board has
these
to
two members, the new members, they've never seen them before. So before it goes to your board, these two new members may want to oversee it.
I want to let him read your copy, and they're the same, by the way. Do you want to okay. If you guys want to look over that, that's the contract that we, They sign it every year. It's good for 5 years, but they re-sign it every year, just in case there's any changes. This year from last year, there are no changes. There was a point in time,
What about the concession issue, though? The part in there with the concession, because Tri-County originally was gonna donate, and then us as Sterling, no? Okay.
no, you're not donating anything on concessions. That did not change. I don't think they're only gonna have 2 tournaments down there this year.
He hasn't reached out to me at all, so I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on.
they're only going to have 2 tournaments. I do not anticipate that they have enough volunteers to run the concession at all. So that's a moot point. Yeah, so they're going to be playing a lot of their games at Berliner.
Berliner.
If that changes, I will let you know. Okay? So no, there will be no return on your concession back to us. I'll get this to Adam, and that's not a problem.
So do you guys want to make a recommendation, because you'll need to take it to your board, Adam will need to take it to his board, and then council actually will have to pass legislation in a council meeting, which the next council meeting is not until the end of April.
Don't we do that after they sign it?
Correct.
Okay,
So council will officially have to approve it.
okay. So when you return that, council will have to accept it and approve it.
Okay.
Okay,
Did you want to make a recommendation to? Joyce.
I thought it was for when it came back.
Well, here's what I'm saying is that
So when it,
you guys aren't going to have another meeting to make the recommendation until May. So the next council meeting is at the end of April. So the recommendation would be is after you guys get it approved by your board, Courtney then can make legislation and approve it at the last April meeting instead of waiting until May.
I make a recommendation on what she said.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Any opposed? Done.
I can ask that question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to have money line for movie night if they donate for one movie night. How many do I have left on the night?
I would
May.
say that, yeah, that's what I was
May.
going to say, a month before.
Yeah, the May meeting, which is the,
Yeah, when's that?
hold on,
Second Monday,
it's,
11th.
why don't I have it on here?
Special
I think it's May 11.
Oh, I have it written down right here. It is 6 p.m. Sorry.
I do have it written down here, it's just on the other page.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask one more thing, Joyce. So these usually are a 3-reading legislation,
We're gonna have to pass it on an
but
emergency.
because of the time restraints, these need to be done quickly.
Oh,
So
no,
are
we
you
don't.
guys-
We've got 3 meetings before we need it, don't we?
for what?
Well, okay, so when did you start practices?
2 weeks ago.
April 1st?
Okay, all the background checks were received by
That's
you
my
and
next
reviewed.
question. No, I don't have them all back yet.
Okay, so that should have never happened.
She said Sarah
Practices should not be
sent you
happening.
all of them.
No, I only
And that-
have the original ones.
And that whole email she sent you.
I didn't get any board members or any members at large.
I told her to send them. She's in practice right now, though.
Did she send me more than one email?
Probably.
No, I only got one.
Unless they're in that one, but I don't.
I think I only got coaches. We can go back and look after the meeting if you want.
6:30. Oh, you already-
Yeah, I didn't record this one.
Do you need to be out here early?
My kids are practicing right now.
Okay, all right. We'll look at that. We have to look at that because
Yeah.
they shouldn't be on the field.
She told me she sent them to you. I was told they were sent over. Okay.
Okay, then let's look at the original because I didn't get that many.
Okay.
Okay. Next item.
Okay, but back to the contract, because the contract should be in play before it happens because of, liability concerns, checking insurance. I'm assuming that's already been completed with you, Joyce?
I don't have a copy of your insurance.
Courtney's seeing red.
I don't have a copy of your insurance policy. I need the deck sheet.
Okay. I'll get a hold of Sean because he took care of that.
Yeah, he didn't send me anything.
Good thing we have these meetings.
Yes.
was just like thrown into this last year, so all this stuff was
I
taken
know.
care of before.
I know.
When's the next practice is scheduled?
Tomorrow.
Okay,
I just told her they need sent tonight.
yes, okay,
If they weren't sent, yes.
yeah, because if not, practices cannot be held tomorrow.
Yeah, tell them, yeah, no, they can't be.
Background checks absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Have to.
And we had them all when she sent the original one, so that's why I thought they were all in that
We'll,
one.
we'll go look at it.
Is there any way that these contracts can like have a little like grace period, like rollover period? Like if, I
Background
know
checks
it's just
can't.
because of all of this gets really tight timing wise for backgrounds and schedules and all of that. If there was some way we could make these contracts just roll to like May.
Background checks
Absolutely
cannot.
not. Okay, and the reason being is because part of it too was council organizing themselves. Okay, so remember, you guys didn't accept committees until the first part of last month. So what usually happens is the committees are usually accepted the last week of January,
Right.
the last council meeting of January.
Right.
Which means that you have a full month of February for committees to meet.
To organize.
To organize the contracts. So it is at fault at some points because of the organization here, because you all haven't had a chance to
Correct.
make the contracts. So, in certain cases, have we passed legislation in these contracts on emergency? We absolutely have. The agreement, because these contracts have really not changed in the past couple years, background checks in years prior, they have to be done. And it was actually said at the last meeting too, is that before April the 1st, because I think that was the first time you guys were gonna have a whole practice.
Which, it was, what, a week or two
Yeah.
before we
Yeah.
met?
Yeah.
So,
For that?
I don't know, I wouldn't feel comfortable because of liability issues. If we do not have that insurance liability and something
He
happens,
just says it's paid, so I said,
Well,
send
but
me
we need a
something."
copy of
He
it.
said, send it to me.
Yeah.
so it's, I don't know where the static or disconnection has met.
I haven't asked her for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't asked her for it.
Again, this
That's,
is
that's where
my-
the disconnect is.
Okay.
I got thrown into this last year.
I'll
because
own,
this was
I'll
over
own
the-
that, Sarah. I didn't ask you for it.
Okay.
Okay? That's my fault.
So background checks is a must as
and
well.
all
That
the
we
board
asked
members were
for.
Done before the coaches, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So those are the two most important things.
yeah.
And
But Sean
I'm not
knew-
gonna
Sean
speak
knew I
upon the
needed
mayor,
that
but
copy.
if those are not been given, then
Of
practices
the
will not be held.
insurance. Yeah.
Period.
I'm pretty sure he knew because he got it for me last year. But all that aside, let's get it, tell him to get it to me tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever. And we cannot show grace on the background check. So I'm going to go back right to my office and I'm going to count how many I have and see if that completes all of them. Other than that, that's all we need. The background checks and that. As far as the contract goes, it's a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ask if we could show grace? Sure, we can show grace on the contract itself. So get to your board meeting, have it signed and get it back to us, that's okay. I don't think that the world's gonna shut down if we don't have the contract tomorrow.
It's just the responsibilities, and that's
Yes.
not changing, because what would actually change is if this committee decides
Right.
they want to change something in there. Say they want
Right.
y'all to wear green shirts on Wednesdays.
Right.
That would be what you guys would have to take back, and the changes would have to come back here for
Right.
review. But as far as and the question I have to know, because I have to create the legislation, is that when it comes back and it's in hand and your board approves it at the last council meeting of April, do you guys want that as an emergency or not?
It sounds like we
Okay.
don't have a choice.
It'd have to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's,
has to
yeah,
be.
I mean, because the motion didn't state that, so, I'm gonna ask the motion, is that when it comes back, and approved by the boards, because you have to do tri-county and I assume you're gonna let Adam know.
They aren't gonna start until after June.
Yeah, this legislation as an emergency. Is there somebody that wants to make a motion to approve that?
I will make that motion.
A second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you, Courtney.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay.
We're at 6:35, just in case. you
We're at
needed it.
6:35. We're gonna talk just for a minute about fundraising ideas, and I think we already have. I think we've already covered that. We know pretty much what we're gonna do. The only thing other is Party in the Park. I'm not gonna get into that real heavy right now, but I'm gonna give you the list of the volunteers that I have to date for Party in the Park. I have myself, Misty Vance, Angie Stage, Vivian Drake, Caitlin Cole, Mick Phillips, and Mary Power. Nathan Pitzer,
Remind me the date, I'm sorry.
I'm
Party in
I'm
the
shooting
Park?
for October 10th. Want me to add you to the list?
I might have a new baby.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I don't have you down there yet.
She might.
But,
Hopefully.
we'll talk later in your
yeah,
pregnancy.
let
We'll
me-
talk later. I'm not gonna exclude you, but,
We could probably find a fitting
I think we could.
volunteer part.
I think we could.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna put any pressure on that, so. do-
October.
October 10th is the date that I'm shooting
Need
for.
Volunteers.
Yes. I'm pretty sure, yeah, because that is the day that there is kind of not a big game for Ohio State. It's just kind of a game. It isn't anything huge.
Want to do the OSU Michigan game again?
No, I do not, but thank you for asking.
Did you want to make a recommendation to take this to council to reserve that date?
I would like to make a recommendation that we reserve October 10th for Party in the Park. Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, I'll make that recommendation tonight. If we have no other business, anybody have anything else for Party in the Park? Heather?
I have nothing for Party in the Park, but I did want to circle back. I went out along the track, in the very back, and there is a whole field of cinder blocks.
Yes.
And I have found out that they actually were originally from what were supposed to be dugouts when Mason Park was first built. So they were actually owned by the youth league before it folded and then turned into this newer, so they were owned by Youth League. I guess by default, they're now the Villages.
Okay.
Because that one is no longer, but I did want to ask and talk about, we also have this community cleanup day. And there is a ton of cinder blocks back in those trees. So I wondered if it's something that we want to get rid of. I mean, it's not something anybody's using out there. They've been out there for 15
Well, I thought
years.
Caitlin
I
Cole
thought
said that
Caitlin
she
was
wanted-
getting
Well, I
them.
wanted to see if we could offer it to community members. I mean, a lot of people could use cinder blocks, so, and I,
You can do that.
if we're not,
Taxpayer money?
Yeah. it's-
if,
So who bought it?
Yeah.
it was the youth leagues to build dugouts when Mason Park first happened.
Dispose of it.
And,
Well, she's saying that the youth league must have purchased it.
No, it doesn't matter. It's abandoned.
I don't.
So it belongs to the
Abandoned, so
village,
it's-
well, I
right?
so
guess
it's now
my
village
question
property. It has
is,
to be disposed of.
Yeah, and there is a policy of
Yeah.
disposal.
Yeah.
do we want to send our crew out there to collect all of these cinder blocks, cause they're just sitting out there, and, do we want to say, you can push a wheelbarrow out there and have cinder blocks if you want them, May 1st to May 3rd, Community Cleanup Day?
They're village properties. They have to be disposed of. So no, you couldn't just wheelbarrow them away.
Well, I would hate to see them all just disposed of.
Well, they would go to the highest bidder. It's not that we would throw them away or something like that. They would go to the highest bidder.
So someone can
Anytime-
buy them.
Anytime village property has to be disposed of, meaning like it shouldn't be around here anymore, there's actually a policy to process we gotta go through open government.
Okay.
So like that chair you're sitting in, we'll eventually have to dispose of all these because I got money this year to
Council will
replace them
have to
all.
Yeah.
approve us to either
Yeah, so
donate,
everything, yeah.
sell, or dispose. And I know it sounds crazy, but that was the question I asked is, who purchased it?
Right.
Because that's what
So-
it
I
comes
don't
down
think
to.
it matters anymore.
Could I
because
make
it's
the
been so long.
recommendation that we donate those?
So it doesn't work that way.
Not at
So
this
it-
committee.
Yeah, the council as a whole has to approve it, but I guess, and Andy's, what he's talking about, this may be an attorney question.
Yeah, I think it's an inventory.
Because I'm not sure it came from. But if you're saying if it's on property.
Yeah, it's ours.
Does it automatically like get grandfathered to the village?
I
don't know.
kind of assumed it just belonged to the village now because that former youth league is no longer.
I think it's abandoned, so it's been
Yeah. it's
25
been-
years, so I'm pretty sure that those are abandoned and we'll just have to dispose of them according to what we have to. So yeah, I can look into that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to, I have somebody that wants to community garden, and I've seen those blocks used easily to create those beds. So I just thought as an idea, if she wanted 20 blocks, we could do that. But it sounds like we'd have to look into it a little
Yeah.
further.
So
Okay.
there is a policy, I think you have it.
Okay, we had talked about that before.
So we'll wait on that policy.
Yeah, we'll find out what the policy is. Andy will get back to us next meeting. Is there anything else we have for Parks and Rec? I'm not gonna go into any more in Party in the Park. We're gonna table anything else until next meeting. Anything else for anyone before I adjourn the meeting?
Courtney, where did we leave off on that TAP program? What was our next step on that?
Is creating a, well, it needs to go to council first, but remember, it doesn't, the engineer is gonna look at it for free and give us an estimate. And he's kinda caught up in 2 projects from him. So that might be a little, backup until, I think the deadline's what, the end of November or the end of October? So the engineer's going to look at, the cost value, cause you will have to have that to submit it. So we still are a ways off, but not out of reach of, letting it just sit, so, yeah.
Anything else? Meeting adjourned at 6:42. Thank you, everyone. Angie, thanks for coming. We'll be in touch.
Angie, do you want my phone number so you can, okay. Let me shut this off real quick, okay?
Thanks, Heather.
Bye, Sarah.
Productive meeting.
It doesn't matter, like, we need to see the cover.